Hello and welcome to I24 News Sports Daily Magazine with all the latest scores and stories from around the world. We begin with football, and believe it or not, the summer break is now over. The French League was the first one to get into action, and we got a great opening match. Champions Paris Saint-Germain traveled to Rennes for what seemed to be a rather comfortable opener. Quite easy to guess who scored the first goal of the new season. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, of course, 7 minutes into the game. Zlatan really should have added another one soon after, but somehow his shot only found the post. The Zlatan shows continues. Only a minute goes by, the Swede is brought down in the area, but he misses the penalty. And as we all know, when you miss so much on one side, you pay the price on the other side. Midway through the first half, the home team is back. Prince Onyang gets the equalizer, and it's 1-1. 12 minutes go by, and the tables have turned. Antoine Deveau finds the net. Will the champions lose their first match? The answer is no, and you all know who it is they have to thank for that. Ibrahimovic may have missed two great chances, but he also scored twice. 2-2 was the final score. Manager Laurent Blanc thinks his club could have done better.
This is the score. In my point of view, it doesn't reflect what happened in the game, but it happens. Last year we also started with a draw, but it was more logical. This year I think the draw was the minimum for Paris to take 1 point out of the game against Reims.
Another interesting team to watch this season is Marseille under their new coach Marcelo Bielsa. The team from southern France traveled to Corsica to face Bastia. The home team, coached by Claude Makélélé, scored first with what can easily be one of the goals of the season. Marseille were quick to react. Only 3 minutes go by, and Gignac gets the equalizer for Bielsa's boys, and the drama was just beginning. 17 minutes from kickoff, and we already have 3 goals. Romaric fires into his own net, and Marseille are now up 2-1. Second half, and the visitors add one more thanks to Guignac's second goal, this time from the penalty spot. Only 30 minutes left, but the team from Corsica reacts. Talo Gadij nails the penalty on the other side, and 17 minutes from time, Christopher Mabolou, who scored the beautiful first goal, gets a double to his name. 3-3 was the final score. Makélélé and Bielsa get a point each in their first match. In other results, Caen looked very impressive when they beat Evian away 3-0. Saint-Etienne also got the 3 points away from home when they beat Guingamp 2-0. And in a very entertaining match, Nice beat Toulouse 3-2 at home. The first match day will come to its end tonight when Lyon faces Rennes, and Monaco, without James but with the recuperated Radamel Falcao, plays at home against Lorient. Next to begin is the Premier League next weekend. The following week is La Liga. The question people in Barcelona are asking is if the biggest transfer the club made this summer will be able to play. The Blaugrana brought in Luis Suarez for 81 million euros from Liverpool, knowing that he's banned until the end of October due to the famous biting incident in the World Cup. But last Friday, Suarez filed an appeal to the Court of Arbitration of Sports. His legal team said they are confident he will have his ban cut in half, meaning he will be able to play on August 25th, just in time for Barcelona's first match in La Liga against Elche. Now to Omri Caspi, one of the biggest players in Israel in the Israeli basketball. He is the leader of the Israeli national team, which will play tonight in their first game of the European qualifiers against Montenegro. This game is meant to be a home match, but it is played in Cyprus due to the unstable situation in our area. I24 News head of sports Valerie Perez caught up with Caspi just ahead of the match to speak of basketball, but also of the NBA, relationship, and many other things. Here it is.
Omri Caspi, hi.
Hi,
what a pleasure to see you here in Israel. Usually we need to take a plane to come and visit you, abroad in America. What are you doing here?
I'm playing with the national team now. We're getting ready for the tournament that starts next week. It's a qualification to the next European Championship, and we're all excited to be here.
Yes, a few weeks ago you signed for Sacramento, a team that you know because you used to play there in 2009. What is it to come back to your first love?
It's definitely like coming back to my first love. I have a lot of good memories. Just the team that opened the gates for me to play in the NBA, and I was a young guy, 21 years old, leaving Israel, then going to the United States, and now going back home, knowing a lot of people and friends. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, you're going to fly again from Texas to California?
Yeah, I have to go back home to Houston and unpack my stuff and pack my stuff and move it to Sacramento and find a place and move my car. But I'm excited.
It's going to be your 5th season in NBA. What is the difference between the first one and the 5th one?
Well, when I moved back in 2009, I had no bank account. And I didn't know what to expect and how to manage myself in this league. And going into this season, it's different. I know what to expect. Training camp, season, 82 games, all that, and hopefully playoffs. So it's different, more experience.
So as you say, last year you were playing with the Houston Rockets, and the playoff. What is that experience?
It's amazing. First time in my career to play the NBA playoffs, being able to compete for something bigger than just a regular NBA game, it's a great experience. I think it's something that all athletes around the world want to compete for, and it was my first experience, hopefully not my last.
Omri Caspi, welcome to Houston.
You were the first Israeli player going, in NBA. Do you think you opened the door to the other?
I hope so.
Yeah.
And we have Meko play for the Mavericks, and every year we go back home and play for the national team. We see that the level goes up every year. The competition, the practices, everything goes up. So I'm excited.
Yes, the biggest star here in NBA, like Lebron James. What advice can you give his new coach, an Israeli too, David Blatt?
Well, it's different, NBA is different than Europe, and the season is a lot longer, and obviously it's a lot more superstar-oriented, and having LeBron and competing for championship. This is something that he expected, and he wants to do it as well. So he's a great coach. He's a great guy. He's gonna, manage to make all the egos combine into one, focus and one purpose to win an NBA championship. They're gonna have a great success.
How do we explain that in NBA there is so non-American players?
Well, there's a lot of European and international players now, a lot more than ever. I think there's about 80 to 85 players every year playing in the NBA. It's about 25%, 20 to 25% of the league, which shows that the basketball overall and in general in Europe and all over the world is growing. And, seeing Tony Parker and Dirk Nowitzki being superstars of teams now, it's something that, 20 years ago wasn't like that. So it's great to see.
Look, Omri, it's not easy to be an Israeli playing around. Those people ask you your political issue?
Yes, every once in a while.
Yeah?
I think we're all ambassadors of our country, of what's going on here.
It's important for you to represent the Israel point of view?
Very much, yeah. I represent Israel every step of the way. And, there's a big misperception of what's going on in Israel. And people, what you see on TV is not always what's true. And so, like I said, we all, small ambassadors in our way and what we can do to help. Obviously, the conflict in Gaza was in the news all day. So it was something that they all saw every day. But, so people, asking questions, wants to know what's Palestine, what's Israel, what they want, what do we want, what's going on. So trying to, share our side of the story the best way I can.
Yes, but this military situation affects the national team because you're not going to play here, you're going to play in Cyprus. It's a shame.
Yeah, it's bad. But, we as competitive athletes, we trying to, focus on the goal, and that's to qualify. But, we wish it could be in Israel and, here in Rishon LeZion or Nokia Arena in Tel Aviv and in front of, 10 or 12,000 people supporting us. But we're trying to focus.
This qualifying room is made with Montenegro, Holland, Bulgaria. You think Israel can qualify?
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be, competitive. We have a tough group. Montenegro is a very good team. Bulgaria and Holland, especially on the road, are tough to beat. Now we're not playing at home, so it's going to be every game going to be a do or die game for us, and going to be interesting.
Omri, a personal question. How is it for you, a young man living away from home? Your dad and mom lives here. How is it in America for you alone?
It's hard sometimes, You don't have anybody to cook for you and to have Shabbat dinner. But, after 5 years now, you're more adjusted and more used to it.
But you have the support of the Jewish community over there?
Everywhere.
Yeah?
So it's awesome.
And maybe your mother, hopes that you married an American woman there?
She hopes for Jewish.
Or maybe she wants to have you back home?
She wants to have me back home, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But she wants the good Jewish girl.
Do you want to keep playing in NBA, or maybe one day we will see you back in Israel?
No, it's a good question. But I don't know yet. I'm still young and wants to compete in the league.
The last question, what advice would you give to a young player that wants to play in NBA? You said it's different. Why?
Well, it's a totally different game. But I think that, that if you work on your game, work on your craft, do the stuff you need to do, listen to your coaches, work hard, I think the sky's the limit. And I really believe so. There's a lot of players that from hard work and dedication to the game and their love for the game made it. So everything is possible.
Do you see the other Israeli players that are in NBA?
I hope so. We have now two,
Yeah.
and we have a coach.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can have a GM and a
I
team
imagine
owner.
you were happy for Maccabi.
I would be really happy if Maccabi.
You follow the game on TV?
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maccabi's my home. I played there when I was 13,
Yeah.
14 at the time. And I used to drive every day from Yavne, where my city is, and to Tel Aviv and practice, and made it to the pro team, and played there for 3 years. And it's always going to be my heart and my home.
Thank you very much, Omri Caspi, for
Thank you.
staying with us on I-24 News. Thank you.
Thank you.
Caspi played in 3 different teams in the NBA. One of them was the Cleveland Cavaliers, where he played from 2011 to 2013. Back then, it was a team with few ambitions who did not make it to the playoffs. Now it's a completely different story. 4 years after moving to South Beach, Lebron James is back to his native Ohio, and expectations are sky high. The team, headed by Israeli coach David Blatt, is now seen as perhaps the top favorite to win the NBA championship. According to the latest reports, LeBron will be joined by another All-Star, as Kevin Love is expected to make the move from the Timberwolves. The fans were ecstatic to see LeBron back, and so was King James himself.
It's people that came to me and said, LeBron, you got to do what makes you happy. I thought about that, and I was like, yeah, I think so. I think it's about time. And then I thought about it and said, hell no. I'ma do what makes my city and my state happy. And that's why I came back. I love you. I'm back.
LeBron James decided to take some time off this summer from international action, meaning he's not part of Team USA for the upcoming Mundo Basket, and so is the NBA's other big star, Kevin Durant. The Durantula was originally part of the American roster, who's now training ahead of the World Cup in Spain, but decided to retire, citing physical and mental fatigue. The difficult images of the injury suffered by Paul George may have had their effect on Durant, who was already replaced by Rudy Gay in the squad. This is obviously another big blow for the American team, who already had to deal with the retirement of big players such as Kevin Love, Blake Griffin, and LaMarcus Aldridge. Now to tennis, and the US Open is just 2 weeks away, and before we call Novak Djokovic and Rafael Nadal as the clear favorites, maybe we should add another name to that list. Jo-Wilfried Tsonga will play tonight in the final of the Rogers Cup in Toronto, and listen to the names he put aside while getting there. In the third round, he beat Djokovic and made it look extremely easy, winning 6-2, 6-2. Andy Murray was the next one to go. Tsonga beat him in 3 sets in the quarterfinal. Next was Bulgaria's Grigor Dimitrov in the semi. Tsonga wins again, 6-4 and 6-3. Tsonga's rival in the final will be Roger Federer, the Swiss master who turned 33 on Friday, won this tournament twice in 2004 and 2006. Now he's just one step away from adding a third Canadian trophy. Federer had a hard day at the office on his birthday. He needed 3 sets to go by David Ferrer in the quarterfinal. It was much easier in the semi. The former world number 1 beat another Spaniard, Feliciano Lopez, in straight sets, 6-3 and 6-4. The women's tournament is held in Montreal, and here we also have a rather surprising name in the final. Venus Williams will meet Agnieszka Radwanska in the final. The older of the Williams sisters beat her younger sister, the world number 1 Serena, in the semi. Venus was once the world number 1, but in the past few years, she's not really in the big league. Currently, she's only 25th in the WTA rankings, but she proves again that she still has what it takes. Serena won the first set of the Williams Derby in a tiebreak, but Venus came back to take the next two and win the match 6-7, 6-2, and 6-3. With Flushing Meadows just around the corner, it seems we should think of both Williams sisters as possible title contenders. The trial of Oscar Pistorius is now in its final stages, and we now have a date for the final verdict. It will happen exactly in a month on September 11th, almost 6.5 months after the trial began, and more than a year and a half after Oscar Pistorius shot his girlfriend, Riva Steenkamp. The trial proper ended this weekend with both the defense and the prosecution presenting their closing arguments. If found guilty of murder, Pistorius could be facing a sentence of 25 years in prison. And that's it for us today. Don't forget, you can watch us anytime on our website at i24news.tv. We're also on Facebook and on Twitter. Thank you for watching and have a beautiful day.